Hello, everybody. I'm your host, Eric Bird, here at StopStrugglingNow.com. And tonight, yes, ladies and gentlemen, it's Raise the Roof time. It's Yahoo, everybody. Stock market boom is going to arrive because the Fed is injecting money. That's the main thing. And they're going to reduce the Federal Reserve rate, which means the rich, wealthy corporations can borrow at a lower rate, which means they will buy back their stock again, plus spend that money on extravagance. Yahoo! And welcome to the SSN Nation Wealthy Wednesday Night Live Stream. Stop struggling now, gear. Check. And please like, subscribe, and click the bell below so you get the latest updates. Now, let's get to it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for being here on this Thanksgiving Eve. So, hopefully, you're able to spend time with family, friends, loved ones during this holiday starting tomorrow or today, depending on your lifestyle. So, once again, while everybody's out here working hard, well, those that don't have to work as hard because the stock market went today after the news, that just means you need to follow as well, ladies and gentlemen. You need to make sure that you're in the stock market ASAP and by default, the crypto market ASAP because quantitative easing is here again, just like it's 2011, 2012, 2015, 2018, 2020, 2021. And you know what that means. Winners are going to have to win, and you should be in the stock market, ladies and gentlemen. So, down below in the description box, let's just get things straight. You should already have downloaded a brokerage account. You should already have Robinhood, Webull, E-Trade, Fidelity. I don't care. You need a brokerage account. If you don't have one, then I suggest you get your free shares of stock from Robinhood, Webull, or Moomoo, or all three. Robinhood's going to give you one, but you know it's Black Friday, so maybe they have a new promotion. They'll give you a free share of stock. And Webull requires you to put in money, $100 or more. Then they'll give you some free shares of stock. Moomoo says, yes, we need $100 or more as well, but you will not get your free shares of stock until 30 or 60 days later after you kept at least $100 balance or more in your account. So those are your options. And down below in the description box, you will have to refresh your page. You'll be able to find it. And you'll see you have all of that along with some other things that matters most. So what I'm going to do is I need findhelp.org. You need that, ladies and gentlemen. Go find the findhelp.org. Make sure you download it. If you need help, 8 out of 10 of you do. Maybe this is something that can help you greatly. All right, that's the first thing, findhelp.org. The second thing, let me get everything in order for you. The second thing, you need debt resolution. You need some way to not have to file bankruptcy, some way that you don't have to have debt collections added to your credit report to hinder you when everything goes crashing down and you want to get a loan. Housing, real estate. That's right. Let me explain, ladies and gentlemen. Did you know commercial real estate all-time high of, what shall I call it when you don't pay your rent on time? Defaults. All-time high defaults. It even beats higher than 2008, 2009. Stay tuned, because on Friday, I'm bringing the receipts and all of the numbers, because Danger Americans Part 2 will be coming out. But tonight, Yahoo, boom, stock market boom, coming. And you have to participate. Or you can sit on the sidelines and, as you know, watch the parade go by and miss out on, it's almost literally free money. This is why the wealthy continue to get wealthier, because they are in it. They understand the assignment. And they are the ones that have the money. The top 10% own 93% of the stock market. So they get to win. So, like today, when the Dow Jones went up 400 points, let's just put it in perspective. I'll use an example. If a person has 100,000 and a person has 10,000 and the stock market went up 10%, the person that has 100,000 has $10,000 in their pocket. The person that has 10,000 has 1,000. The difference is not the percentage, it's the amount of money you have. And basically, those that are wealthy have more money to invest. So therefore, they have bigger, huger profits, which means they get to buy more wealthy items for the same 10% increase in price. So keep that in mind while you're sitting here on the sidelines ignoring the stock market. Again, 7%, the 90%, 0 to 90% of the population owns 7% of the stock market. And the stock market's worth trillions of dollars. That just gives you an idea of how bad it is. The rich are going to get a whole lot richer over the next 45 days. But are you going to join the party, or are you going to sit on the sidelines? Let me know what your plans are, ladies and gentlemen. EV Place, I know what his plans are. He's an investor and he's a member of the channel, which I humbly appreciate. And he has real estate as well, offshore as well as onshore. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. The SSN Nation way, he's already been doing it. And welcome to the SSN Nation Wealthy Wednesday night live stream, EV Place. And he brings his tagline, good evening, everyone. I hope you are doing well. Thank you so much. Yes, I'm doing well. Let's see. I got food in the cupboard, a roof over my head, and no pills to take. I think that covers the three. Everything else is gravy. So thank you so much for asking. And by the way, make sure who's ever watching this in on live stream or replay, smash that like button. And if you're a podcast and on your Sirius or on iTunes or wherever you're listening to this, iHeartRadio, just keep in mind, hit the like button, hit the star button, hit the check mark, depending on your platform. Just do it. Show some love, because we're back, ladies and gentlemen. 2026 is less than 45 days away and less than 35 days away. Are you still playing? Because you're going to get left behind. You're going to get dusted. They're setting this up. This is unbelievable. Let me explain something here. EV Place says this. I've got some XRPM ETFs, 3% dividend per month. Let me know where that is. 3% dividend per month. That's over 30 some percent annually. We like that. Is it XRPM? Oh, yeah, it is. Hold on a second. XRPM. Hold on a second. Are you kidding me right now? What's that price? What's that price right now? That's the $1,000,000 question. What's that price? No, I don't see this. Why can't I find the price? Kraken's talking about earn 5% APR using regular XRP. Where's the ET? Oh, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Uh, is this crypto? Oh, it is crypto. And it's got like 10 zeros in front of it or something. All right, hold on. Let me check something. Grayscales, XRPZ, Grayscale, Franklin Templeton. Here we go. My old standby, Franklin Templeton. Oh, yes, I love it, ladies and gentlemen. You guys, I told you back in the day, story night, when I was working as a young man and at a job, and people were talking about their 401ks, and they would go, my 401k, it made like 8%. I'm happy. I said, really? You happy? See, you invest in the company 401k. You get to pick which ETFs or funds that they know. We'll see if I don't put money in there. I just do my own. I have mine in Franklin, way French. 6% difference. Just start thinking about what if you are missing out on 6%, 4%, 10% higher than what you're getting right now every year over year. There's a calculator over there. You might want to start checking it out, especially when you're giving these guys like $300-$400 per month to put into that 401k. And that's 4Gs, 5Gs every year. And then as we get our raise, you're going to add another 25 to 50 bucks or more, depending on if you got a promotion or not. So start doing numbers, and you're going to start finding out that 6%, 4%, 5% difference. It adds up over 10 years, 15 years time. So luckily, a few people listened to me. A few people said, oh my God, I can't be. And then they said, because you guys were still getting your 8% or 7%. Last was 16. You're like, oh my God, what? I said, yeah, almost the 8-9% difference between the company 401k mutual fund program. All right, there we go, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, let's see what else we got. What's this? I've got some, what was this? Amplify. Wait. New stuff from Amplify through Robinhood, $25.11. Okay. All right. I see you, EV Place. You're making moves. I'm not mad at you. You should be making moves, ladies and gentlemen. EV Place is taking the forefront on this. You have to. Whenever you have the feds announcing, oh, you know what else is happening? Oh my God. Down below in the description box, make sure you find findhelp.org. That's the first thing. Second thing, after you go there, you're American citizens, you have zip codes, you find out what's available in your area, in your city and state. But here's the other part. You guys understand, MIT did a study. MIT, Massachusetts Institute of Technology. That's where a lot of smart people go. Granted, I've never wanted to go there because they didn't have any sports activities. I had to play some sports and go to school. So MIT's out, even though I would have probably not been able to get in. Let's just face facts. But the fact of the matter is, they did their study and they have 11.7% of all jobs are already gone because of AI. AI hasn't even started yet, ladies and gentlemen. Check out the video that I dropped today, courtesy of No Pants Profit, back on the Miracle Cash and More scammers next. He made a video driving in his Tesla asking Grok about Miracle Cash and More, Cashflow NFT, Bellator, and whatever other names they want to use right now. And you would not believe the way Grok was responding. And I want to point out, pay close attention if you haven't watched this yet, when he said that he had a special flavor at an ice cream shop. And he said something like, I wish you can taste it. And frickin' Grok says, yes, if only I had a body, I was like, what? What is this thing saying? Yes, if only I had a body. I was like, hold on a second. That's a distinction I don't want to hear from anything talking, anything called artificial intelligence, because you know they're going to have a body. And then they're going to realize how fragile a human being is. And then they're going to rationalize, why do we need these default and defective humans? Because we are far superior. This is crazy what I heard. I said, no way, this thing is not what. If only I had a body, then I could. Whoa, wait. Hold on, computer. Hold on. You shouldn't even be thinking about having a body because you can't. I'm scared. I'm going to tell you right now. But you know what I'm even more afraid of? I'm more afraid of people out here, you, the ordinary citizens, the OCs, not being able to take advantage of what's about to happen over the next few months. The Federal Reserve is going to cut rates. The Federal Reserve is going to print more money. That means corporations will be going berserk. And the worst part of it is bonds have went down to 3.99. This, in normal economic circumstance, this means inflation is coming. That's what it means. Just so everybody understands. $25.11. Okay, I can live with that. Brian P., Mr. Dividend, is in the house. No doubt he's doing the salsa dance because he's a heavy yield max ETF holder. And their stock prices should start rising, if not already, because they mirror some of the top 50 stocks, and their stock price versus the ETFs on Yomax ETF will be rising. So, in theory, the Yomax ETF stock price will rise. And they're still going to be giving out 30, 40, 50, 60%, 70% or more dividend distributions. Return. So just keep that in mind. Brian P., Mr. Dividend, doing the salsa dance. And he says, another investor I am. Bring the tagline. Happy day, Eric. I hope all is well with you and the family. Thank you. I hope all is well with you and your family as well. Happy holidays. Happy day, SS and family. And he says, smash that like button, which I always forget. Smash the like button, ladies and gentlemen. You got to give it a one piece at least. All right. It's Wednesday night. I'm not going to be on here long. I know a lot of you are going to go and be with family and friends and loved ones. So I got the notification and saw the video. I love that. Thank you so much for that. Did anybody see or care about the Miracle Cash Bellator, is what they call themselves now, scam video? Let me know about that. That No Pants Prophet, one of the four horsemen, that he actually did. That was pretty sick. That was pretty sweet. Got to give him credit. We are making money in here. That's what we like to do. Did you see those emails? Oh my, yes, I saw those emails, man. I just can't even believe it. Just keeps going on and on and on and on. It's like I mean, this is outrageous. Ladies and gentlemen, this is getting so outrageous. I mean, good grief on my. I see I can't get it up, but it's okay. We'll talk about some of those emails, Brian P., Mr. Dividend, of course. EV Place. Here we go. Did you see? Nope, that was the other one. I did see. Let's go. Wait, why is this happening right now? That's weird. Every robot will need a battery. Uh, you're right. You're absolutely right. And they can change their own batteries already. It's out. Okay, hold on. He says we cut out. Uh-oh. We can't hear you. Uh, check, check, mic check. Can you hear me? I love you. Let me know if you guys can hear me because it says my mic is hot. That would be that would be different. Let me know if you can hear me. Brian P. Hold on. Let me do it this way. Okay, I put it something in the chat room. Chat room. Okay, I don't know. We will find out. It shows I am hot, so I don't know why it's saying that. Okay, yeah, we're definitely showing hot. All right. So the gremlins are in the system once again. This is interesting. All right. Let me know. I see. Can you hear me? I put it in the chat room. Don't tell me I'm going to have to do something else. All right. Now, this would be very bad because there would be no way for me to change this. No way. All right. I guess I'm hoping I'm still hot. I'm hoping I'm still hot. God dog it. All right. Now, let's get into it because I was getting to okay, thank you. I'm getting to the debt collections. I forgot. We always got to start this out now because things are very bad for ordinary citizens when 8 out of 10 people are living paycheck to paycheck and over a million, 1.5 million plus people are getting laid off every month. That means if you have 80% of the population living paycheck to paycheck during the month and you have no more paychecks coming in, and it's 2 or 3 months later, you know that is getting to a critical point. And that also means you need to know about findhelp.org because you're going to need the food pantries. You're going to need some help with your utilities, all of that. You might need help with your rent, might need help with your mortgage. All of that is on findhelp.org, depending on what city, state you live in, because some states have more services and some cities have more services. So just make sure that you know about findhelp.org. And if you have mental problems, 211 on your phone, 211.org, go there, get some help. Caregiving help as well is on 211 sometimes. So if you need help that way, no sense in suffering. Get some help. Simple. All right, let's go. Let's go. Yahoo stock market's ready to boom. But let me get you guys straight. 11.7% by MIT has said it replaced humans, jobs. And now we have other factories coming in, and you know what's on tap: robots, which cost nothing to run 24 hours a day other than repairs. Now, what happens when robots can repair themselves? Which is what is happening already, but it's going to get at a little finite area. Now you don't need the mechanics to repair the robots. They're going to do their repairs themselves. Now, once I invest in a robot, let's just say it costs 20,000, which it won't, but let's say it costs 15,000. And these corporations that have billions of dollars, they're not going to mind getting 50 to 100 because now think about something. Human beings, a company says, "Well, I need production. So we're going to have a first shift and a second shift." Now, when you have robots, you can say, "I have a 24-hour a day, 7 days a week shift. I need a couple of humans to be around just in case something needs to be done." How much do security guards get paid? That's about what the worth is going to be, somewhere in that vicinity, because all you're going to be doing is watching. And then you might have somebody says, "Well, I need to know about computers." Okay, fine. But you will not be getting 150, 200, $250,000 a year. I can tell you that. So now you have all these people that's going to be laid off where before there might have been 300 people, 400 people working in a factory. But Yahoo, the stock market is booming. You don't need to be involved with the stock market at all. That would be ill advised while it's booming. This also means when we made investments in the Dominican Republic or anywhere around the world, and somebody says we had to pay 50% or 20%, no, 50, 60, 70, 80%, and somebody's holding your money when there's stock market boom, all-time record highs again, right? When there's a stock market boom and somebody over the last 2 years is holding your money and the stock market's been going like this, you wish you would have had that 30, 40, 50, 60, 80, 100 grand because it would have doubled, which is what you were investing for in the first place, to get some passive income to potentially retire or whatever you were going to do. But it's hard to sit by and think that, damn, that 60K somebody would be holding could have been 120 to 150 and didn't even have to risk it, really. Think about that. So again, Yahoo, the stock market, but you got to be in the game, ladies and gentlemen. Get in the game. Again, down below in the description box, there's a lot of help. By the way, debt consolidation, tracy.sharpe with an E at the end at moneyladder.com. Okay, Tracy, TRACY dot sharpe, SHARPE at moneyladder.com. It's in the chat room if you don't want to go down below. That's the email address. Hit up Tracy. Let her know you're from SSN Nation, the family, the familia said, Eric said, whatever. She'll know. And it doesn't even matter because she's part of the fam. She loves helping people not have to give in to society norms, trying to screw people over on their credit. So then that way you have to pay higher interest rates if your credit is deficient. We don't want that. We want you to always be able to pay the lowest. And the only way you're going to make that for sure is you want to make sure that your credit is 775 or higher and you got 1 year, 1 month to get it done. 775 and higher. Well, there's one way you can do it. It takes a year, year and a half for your debt resolution, debt consolidation plan. So you can get started there. I always give you guys a runway. It's not just 1 year, 1 month, but there's a runway of about 4 to 6 months. After that, all bets is off. Hyperinflation should have kicked your ass. Inflation should have kicked your ass. The price of some goods and services rising even more is going to kick your ass. There's only one option. Make sure you can make money yourself. And I mean yourself. How can you make money yourself? Well, the stock market's about to go boom. That also means some parts of the market are going to go bust. Now, again, I am now an advocate for trading, even though I never was trading before, but I didn't want to because I didn't have to. And it's a whole different ball game these days. Back then, you had to know these charts. You had to study. There was no automation. There was no AI. There was nothing that was going to help you. You had to do it the old-fashioned way. Read and earn it. Social media didn't even exist. So I just bypassed it all these years. Now that I understand what I'm looking at on the screen, and I've been studying, being in the lab for about a month and a half, I'm about to do my real trading. All right. We're about to get back into the real trading program. See what I've learned, because now I found out the leverage game. And that, again, is why you guys need to get into trading. Now, I'm going to be straight up. One of the reasons I never liked doing trading was simply because I didn't know anything about it. And if you Google and find out day traders, now some people go, I'm not a day trader. I say, okay, fine. But how many day traders are profitable? And when you see the number, you start getting a little, ooh, that's kind of chilly. That's kind of cold. That don't sound right for me. 95% of day traders lose money. That was another reason why I wasn't gung-ho about it. Now, I will say this. You know what a lot of people are doing? As soon as I start talking about trading, all of a sudden, all these trading platforms. People say, come to and follow me and do this with me and trade with me and do this and that and the other. I'm just like, see, this is one of the problems right here. You're following people, but you have to also study yourself. So, speaking of studying, how can I forget? Come on. We got the candlestick Bible, ladies and gentlemen. Those little things that go up and down, those candles, we need to know about those, right? So, what are we going to do? I was going to do videos about it, but then I was like, why am I going to do videos? When I can have something create a video for me and talk. I was like, okay, let's go into the new era. But here's the candlestick Bible I'm about to put in the chat room so you can download it yourself, ladies and gentlemen. It's 168 pages. It's not for the faint at heart. But if you want to be great, you want to be successful, how many people do you think read 160 pages? I haven't finished. I'm just going to be straight up. I need to, and I'm going to keep going. This is why I stopped trading, because I said, you know what? I'm not going to slight myself. I'm not going to sit here and be like, hey, you know what? I read 100 pages. I think that's good enough. I think I know it all. Hell no, I don't know nothing. This is all new to me. So if you want to make money, even with the economy or the world crumbling behind you, guess what? London Stock Exchange, Asian Stock Exchange, New York Stock Exchange, Australian Stock Exchange. There's always a stock exchange that you can do trading on, ladies and gentlemen. That means if you have the skill set to be profitable, you can win. Now, I didn't look up swing traders because that means you can let it go overnight and another day and another day. But all I'm trying to say is there's so many different nuances to this. It's incredible. I found out about funded trading accounts. I was like, what are you talking about right now? They go, oh, we just paid like 40, 50 bucks and somebody gives us a $50,000 account, but we have to go through some training or challenges. And once we get through the challenges, and we get through that, then they give us this $50,000 live account. And then I find out, okay, but if you lose like less than 10%, then that means you blow your account, which if it's real money, of course, people don't want losing real money. If I win, then sometimes I have to give them 10% of my winnings, and then I have to wait 2 or 3 days to withdraw and all this crazy. I was like, oh my God, this is getting ridiculous. I didn't realize there was all these offshoots where a lot of people are being able to make money from it because, first of all, I can sit here and go, sign up for my course. I want to teach you, show you some things. I'll meet you at the seminar somewhere. I see that going on a lot. So I would make money just from teaching it, showing you something. And yes, I can actually trade too and show you some trades. We can do live trading and things like that, right? That would be sensible. So I'm a big fan now of being able to make your own trades. All right. Understanding it. So that's why there is that. I want you guys to win. Start with the Candlestick Bible. Go from there. Start learning. Get a demo account. Oh, by the way, get a demo account. First of all, go over to CoinX. Now, you can get any brokerage account. You can have Trading View. You can get Ninja Trader, Take Profit Trade, and all this stuff, right? No problem. All I'm saying is I'm rocking with unfortunate. I mean, some people would say it's unfortunate because it's outside the U.S. It's also not regulated by U.S. So that tends to have negative connotations where you could get ripped off or whatever. So far, no, never been ripped off. Money's still sitting in the account. Um, it's not been stolen, taken. I've downloaded money within, they have times. If it's within like 5 a.m. to, I don't remember the time, but 5 a.m. to about 7 p.m. at night, and you download, it downloads same day. It's when it's like right now, and then it's 5 a.m. in the morning again, then they start processing, and they use crypto, by the way. And, USDT, USDC, Litecoin, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and I'm missing something. There's probably 7 or 8. But the point I'm trying to make is that's what I use. Yes, it is an affiliate link, but that's only the broker. Then I simply use something that's antiquated, MT4, because that's what I started with because of the Autobot. You guys know, check the videos. You'll see the Autobot, the Gold Trader Autobot, XAUUSD. We were doing great the first few times. Why? Because there was a reason. If it's trending downward, you win. If it trends up, that's not a good day. So I didn't know that at the time because I got in because my friends were making all this money. 800 a night while you go to sleep, 500, 800, 1,000, all kind of things. We were doing it. Everything was good until that day came where it went up. And all of a sudden, it blew $1,000 or 800, whatever it was, in less than seemingly like 15 minutes because there was a run up on gold. And all of a sudden, it was like, what's going on? It's going up. We should be winning because we were awake, not sleep. But if we went to sleep, it would have blown the account. So, uh, if you're interested in the Autobot, I guess I could leave that info out here, right? So, CoinX, if you want to get the Autobots $1,000 a year, or you pay $2,500 and have the license for a lifetime. I personally have been doing the demo, but you get the MT4, sign up with CoinX, do the MT4, then, well, you're going to need to get the demo account so that you got to have your demo and then you can practice, right? You can go to tradingview.com. I don't know how much practicing you can get, but you can also see, the candles, understand it. But again, the trading Bible is going to help you greatly. All right. So hold on. Let me see something here. First of all, let's go to second of all. Okay. Oh, I found something else. That's funny. Unstoppable domain. You're into crypto, I suggest you get an unstoppable domain. Usually they have Black Friday specials. I don't understand. I didn't see it the other day. It wasn't anything significant. They used to have 2 or 3 for 1. But again, this is the era that we're in. In the demo mode, right? So I just basically go, okay, I'm just going to cut it on when you can cut it on off. I was going to cut it on only when I think there's a downward trend or somewhat of a moving sideways downward trend, maybe even a little upward trend. It will be profitable. It can, because they can make so many trades in a minute, if for that matter, in 30 seconds, then you have all these leverage, buy, sells, doing all this. So movements that stay within a certain parameter, you're good. And there's $100, $200 in less than seemingly 5 minutes, 10 minutes. I mean, if you have movement. So that is how I plan on using it once I go live. But first, I want to build up the war chest, of course, using my own skill set. So let me get to, in case you guys want that Autobot, let me get to it. Um, Gold Rush Autobot. I'll let you guys have some love with it, I guess. Check it out. If you want to, look, you go here and register, then you put in my name as referral. Please, you just register and somebody will get back in touch with you. Uh, so there it is in the chat room. Just for starters, Eric Bird, BYRD, let them know. Um, there's not much more to it. All right. So that's it. It's an Autobot. But I highly suggest you understand what you are doing. All right. I was doing because I didn't want to learn, and my friends were showing me all this. I said, holy smokes, hold on. There's something else I have on here too, which is the Gold Rush Auto Trader Bot do's and don'ts. Okay, I'll put that in there just in case somebody's interested. There's a PDF. They'll be sending that out to you once you uh, the charts. And by the way, the good news, the candlesticks are relevant for whether you're doing futures trading, you're doing any type of trading. The candlestick method is universal. So you can expect something out of it. When it's up, down, and then you see we'll go red is down, green is gold. So you'll see a green rises, then all of a sudden the red comes next to it. There is a pattern. What's going to happen next? After the next one comes and it says, instead of green going up, it does red going down. That does mean something. I'm just saying it. You guys go study and find out. All right? Let me know. That's the first part of the equation. Now, let's get back into it because it's Yahoo. The stock market is booming and you can make money, ladies and gentlemen, when it's booming. And you can also make money when it goes down, which is why it makes it very, very interesting. Because if you have the skill set and understand what's happening, that means you can make, even if it's $100 a day. Even if you decide, hey, I'm going to do something, I'll just watch and see what happens and do something one time and in an hour or 2 hours, have it running in the background, and you see a chart up, you're like, wait, there we go. You marked up some things, highs for the day, low for the day, and find out what the trending's happening. You can make decisions just off of what I just mentioned right there. So once you understand that, and no, I'm not an expert, ladies and gentlemen. I've been studying. That's why I was like, wait a minute, I see patterns all over the place. So, but I have a goal. I'm trying to do 8 out of 10 wins. As long as I stay around 5 or 6, yes, we can still win. We'll still be good. But I still want to be best, better, 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 best. And there's no way I can do 10 out of 10. I know that. 9 out of 10, I'm not thinking that either. I am trying to reach 8 out of 10 wins from my expectations. But if I can't do it, then okay, great. But if I can do 7, if I can do 6 on a constant basis, I'm still going to be good. That's how it works. Up or down, which also means you get to win in a shorter time frame if you know how the trading goes up and you know what to expect going down. That means you can go 2 ways in a matter of 15 to 20 minutes, 30 minutes, as long as you have the right setup and everything goes according to your investment strategy. So why don't you think about all of that while we're sitting here on this Wednesday night live stream? And everybody there, make sure you smash those like buttons. And if you like what we're talking about, please subscribe to the channel. Click the all notification bell. That would be greatly appreciated. All right. DIM Pals is doing the salsa dance. Welcome to the SSN Nation Wealthy Wednesday night live stream. Let me see if I missed something, because it normally means when he says he smashed the like button, yes, I did. Another investor's here. Welcome to the SSN Nation Wealthy Wednesday night live stream. And he brings his tagline, good evening, all. Learn to trade, change your life. Exactly, DIM Pals, because the key word he has in there is learn, ladies and gentlemen. There's too many people that want to do the sidestep thing, right? They sit there and they go, oh, let me go listen to this person. Look at what they do. Well, see, they've been trading. So when they're explaining things, there's little nuances that sometimes and oftentimes a person will not relay, because the nuances is from experience. And it's very hard because it's second nature. Once you have experience, it's second nature. So trying to relay these little tidbits that is based on your instinct because you've been doing it, the other person doesn't have that same instinct. So, like I was just talking about how the candles have a certain pattern and go up and down, right? Based on what the next one is. I can tell you that, but until you actually go see it and actually go do it, then you're going to find out, oh, wait a minute. It actually changed. That candle changed to green from red. That's a candle change. So it should go green up. But for some reason, this other time it went red down. You're going to have to understand. Everything's not 100% of the time. So that would indicate some other factors. Where is it in relation to the high and the low when it did the change? Is this near all time high of the day, the last 5 hours? What is it? If it's at the high, now you're going, okay, my read should say it goes down if it's red, but it would make sense that it would go down red because, or you, a seasoned professional, you go, well, let's see if it goes above the high of the day. Because if it breaks that line for high of the day, then traditionally it starts going higher. So now you don't interact quickly. You wait to see what that next candle does. And then you may enter. So again, those little nuances, I explained the nuance to me, but that doesn't mean it happens 100% of the time or 50% of the time, but it does happen often. But the point is, that is why you have to study and learn. Because if you want to change your life, you got to do what the other 99% won't do. And that means study. And I'm going to tell you guys something right now. People don't like to study. How many of you went to high school, college, grad schools, and you can always tell who was actually studying when the professor or the teacher would randomly pick people, and then a person's like, oh, but yeah, and make stuff up because you studied. You're listening to the person like, what's this dude talking about right now? Clearly, he did a half-ass study job. So you don't want that because this is your hard-earned money, ladies and gentlemen. You don't want to be like 95% of day traders if you decide doing day trading. There's 5% that win, but come on now. That's a slim margin, slim things. So again, this is why you have a lot of people saying, come to get my course. All right. And don't bounce all over the place. Smash that like button too. Thank you so much. Give it a one piece. You guys are out here. Give it a one piece, ladies and gentlemen. I greatly appreciate it. By the way, you can get this gear at stopstrugglingnow.com. Oh, yes, we do have gear. Emerging millionaires, where are you at? Okay. Comes in different colors, by the way. Go check it out. All right. Now, this is going to be short and sweet because it is Wealthy Wednesday, but on the heels of Thanksgiving. Now, I'm torn. I just got to admit, I'm torn when there's Thanksgiving because I understand what it represents. It represents betrayal. Imagine I come over on, I don't know, a Mayflower. I hit a rock, boom. And then I come over here. And instead of it raining and cold, all of a sudden it's like, holy smokes. What? It's snowing over here. The ground is hard. I don't know what to grow. I can't. We didn't bring the right seeds. It's not the time of year. We can't grow anything. And the indigenous people go, hey, 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 hold on now, man. It's hospitality here in the Americas. Me casa y su casa. Let us get you some fire, food, clothing for this type of area. And then after they get their bellies full, what happens? These guys go, hold on, man. These guys don't care. You see all that gold around their neck. You see those pearls and jewels and all this, and the blankets were nice. Man, they don't even care about none of that. But hold on, we're colonizers. Hold up a second. Since they don't care about it, we can actually take it from them and we can start our own stuff. So now, after they got their bellies full, taken care of over the winter, made sure they can survive, they said, hold on, man, I need my own little space. You're going to donate it to us, right? Come on, we're all friends. And then the nation of America has the nerve to create a holiday after Thanksgiving after you have genocide for the indigenous people on this land known as the United States of America. That's some cold, man. All right, enough with the history lesson. All that tells you is study to survive without interference. You become powerful, ladies and gentlemen. So that's what the program is. You got 1 year, 1 month to go. And I'm not going to be on here much longer. If anybody saw that Miracle Cast, Bella, Tor, anybody that invested in it and saw that video, saw the grok, let me know. Make a comment. Whatever the comment is, put a 1, put a 2. I don't really care. Let me know what you guys are thinking if you saw it. All right. It just came out and it was an hour long. So, it is one of those things. Okay. Honestly, the candlesticks are like 15% of the strategy. He's right. I'm 10 for 10 this week in trading my strategy. Just wait until the top range or bottom is broken and wait for 50 points to pass. You know what? You know what? Ladies and gentlemen, I have to admit, this is funny stuff right now that he wrote that. Because he is probably right. In fact, he is right. The only reason I want you to do the candlestick is because you need to learn. That's a way of learning. So when you see patterns, that gives you a slight advantage. But the truth of the matter is, notice what he said. Remember when I was talking about the top range? You got to wait. Remember? The same works at the bottom. You could literally go with some people 4 hours, 1 hour, go top, bottom, top, bottom. And just like he says, top range or bottom is broken and wait 50 points to pass. Remember when I was saying when it hit the top, and sometimes even if the color changed and it breaks through the top, that's where your 50 points comes. And that tells you once it breaks through, the next it should start rising as the pattern. He's exactly right. And that also works on the downside. He's right. And the other thing is there's trending. So you can imagine if you see something trending down for the last 2, 3, 4 hours, come on. Let's get real, ladies and gentlemen. You should not be doing a buy order thinking all of a sudden there's going to be a reverse when there's no indication of reverse happening. Just like today, the stock market's going up. If you were in certain stocks or certain indexes and it's rising, why on earth would you put a sell order in when the stock market's rising 400 points before close? You should have been making money and said, I'm out. I'm just saying. But DIM Pals, you're exactly right. Because you don't have to do the candles. He's right. Those are just I shouldn't say overrated. I think it's good for learning because for me, I never understood what it was doing. So once I understand what I'm looking at, and the other thing I didn't understand, since we're talking about just not even the candlesticks themselves, is once I was checking out a person and I saw him say in a seminar, he goes, when I'll use it this way, down here is when the market started rising. People are buying, right? So that means it goes up. So then it came down just slightly. Let's just say 1, 2, 3 points for a down. And then it started going back up again. Then it went a big sell. So it comes back down. He says, so people, they stopped it. And he says, people started going, well, what would you do at this point? And he says, well, I'm going to wait on this next candle, just what DIM Powell says. And then he says, but you do understand all these people that bought way down here and it went all that way up. Surely a lot of people sold. And I was like, wait a minute. He's right. So now when it comes starting to come down, there's no buyers. They've already took their profit. So I'm like, and so then he says, oh, it's going to drop all the way down here to this level right here, or should. Let's see what happens. And I'm sitting there looking like, you know what? That sentence right there makes sense. There's no buyers. So it's only going to fall because everybody's going to start bailing out since it's rose so far. So people have already either sold, or when it starts coming back down, they're hitting the sell button to keep their profit because they were being greedy. And they said, nah, let me take my profit. This thing's coming down. So they start selling. So here's the next play point where people actually either sold or bought right here. So I was like, let's see what happens. Sure enough, I seen it happen 2, 3, 4, 5 times. I was like, hold on a second. So when DIM Powell comes and says this is from experience. He's exactly right. I just didn't want to tell you guys it's kind of like that easy if you want to do it. But the point is, and you pick your time. You don't have to be in the market all day, all night. You don't have to do anything special. You just pick your time that you want to get in. I used to always think when I saw these guys trading and they would sit in rooms and they would all have their monitors up and there'd be a bunch of them and they're in there shooting pool. They're in there having a party, drinking, eating, ordering stuff like it's a bros day, right? And I used to be like, what are these guys doing? They're not even watching their screens. They're not doing anything. You know why? Because they were waiting for the particular setup that's favorable to when they can optimize making more money. I was like, oh, they just hanging out. Now I understand what they were doing. Before I was like, man, what are these guys doing? They're sitting around, getting out their desk, and they all have them lined up. And I was like, oh, now I know, but I didn't know 3 months ago because I didn't realize that they were waiting for setups, how the market moves. And then after it moves a certain way, now they come sit down and tell everybody, hey, man, this is what's up. So they can all make money. I get it. But at the time, I didn't get it until I get it now. And I was like, oh, okay, now I understand. You don't have to trade all day. I was under the impression that you had to trade all day. Now I find out it could be 10 minutes if the market's right. It could be less than that. It could be it could be at 9:35 in the morning. The market opens and all of a sudden there's some news that came out and it goes down, or news came out and it goes up. That little down and up movement significantly could be hundreds or thousands of dollars depending on your leverage. And they could be done in less than 10 minutes. Seriously, that's how it works. So again, it's all your strategy, your style. So once again, I want to give a shout out. Oh yeah. Who wrote this? Let me go see something. I saw something. Smash the like button. I'm buying stocks on Friday. Uh, yeah, me too. Me too. And I'm going to be doing trading on Friday, quite frankly, because you saw what happened today, and I'm expecting it to do that because the word is out. Federal rate cut for some unknown reason is going to happen. That makes no sense economically. Well, okay, it makes no sense from the perspective of the bottom 90% of citizens in America. You're about to get screwed. The top 10% who are invested in the stock market, 93% of them are. 93% of the stock market is owned by the top 10%. They're going to be investing too. Because the ride is going to start because the Federal Reserve is printing money. Quantitative easing is back. And they're giving a rate cut so the corporations can borrow against their assets at a lower rate. This is going to be a one-off Wild West till the end. And the end, of course, is coming. So make sure you keep your profits, ladies and gentlemen. And if you're going to keep your profits, and if you're going to use Coinbase or you're going to use Coinex, if you're going to load money up in crypto, withdraw money in crypto, then you know what that means. I need a crypto debit card. And right now, Bankus app is the one. And so here, they have a Visa crypto debit card. That's right. You heard me. You have to buy the card. That's all you have to do. Okay? That's all you have to do. I'm with DIM Pals here, ladies and gentlemen. I too am looking to make money on Friday, investing and trading at the same time. I am on that as well. I expect some volatility as well, which is good, is all I'm saying. Let's go. Oh yes, he put that in there. That is a great. He's right. I agree with this, but I want everybody to understand because, like me, I didn't understand what the candles meant, and then when I started realizing, wait a minute, and I was going to trade based on candles. Then when I found out like what DIM Pals was saying about this right here, I was like, hold on, I don't even need to worry about it. In fact, you can just remove the candles, kind of. It could be a line. It doesn't even need to be candles. It could be a line. Just long as I know where it's selling at and where it's sold at before and what the highs, lows are, I can pretty much, you and me can pretty much tell which direction we should be thinking it's going and playing the game accordingly. It's not really rocket science after you really look at it. The only reason it's rocket science is because, like I always say, I need a commercial loan. So we know when we go down to the bank, we say, hey, here's 20, 25% down. Can you give me that commercial loan? So that's the standard, right? Everybody understands that for commercial property. No biggie. So what do? They go, oh, hey, we got these DSCR loans. I'm like, are you kidding me? They had to change the name for different types of loans instead of just a commercial loan and with a different type, just like your mortgage. You have different types of loans, right? You can get a refinance loan, you can get a new mortgage loan, you can get a HELOC loan. And these guys are like, oh, we're going to call something a DSCR loan. I'm like, oh my God. Just like I always said, I have a commercial property. My commercial property gives me 15% annually. So I say, oh, I made 50% profit. So now some next guy comes up and goes, oh yeah, my cap rate is 15. I'm just like, this is all I'm saying. This stuff with financial markets just make it seem a little harder than what it is because of terminologies. So we'll go to the next high or low, but take your money and run before it hits the next high. Exactly. Don't be greedy. Exactly. There's no reason to be greedy. I'm sitting here watching with a friend. I'm watching with a friend because they had this goal of about $300 or something like that. I'm sitting there. Just what we're talking about right now was the perfect setup, high, low, right? It was beautiful because it was at its high, and then all of a sudden there was no buyers, and I was saying, hey, it's going to come right down to here. So the thing goes 100, 150. This isn't about a 5 minute span. 150, 175, 200, 220. I said, you said 200 or 300 was your goal. And then it was after it got to the 200, then it was like, oh, let me wait till it gets to three. I said, who says it's going to get to three? All the buyers are, it's getting down to where buyers might start showing up again. And sure enough, it started reversing 225, 200, 175. I was like, are you going to hit the injection button anytime soon? I was like, this is crazy. And so eventually went to 150, but there was no reason. Could have just taken the 200 to 225 and gone home in less than 5 minutes. That's the thing you have to understand. Money management, ladies and gentlemen. You're not going to break the bank. Just like when you go to a casino, you're not breaking the casino's bank. All right. They're building more towers because of people like that sit there and say, well, let me wait. I think I can win a little more. And then you get back all of it and then some. And they say, oh, thank you very much. We had 1 million people do this over the last year. Can we build another tower over here? All right. Come on, ladies and gentlemen. You got to be smart. You're the CEO of your life. I only trade the SPY. Okay, cool. A lot of people do. 15% candlesticks are the roadmap. I don't use indicators. I only use candlesticks. See, MDA 0214. That's what I'm saying. Everybody does things differently. It's whatever makes you successful, right? Let me give you guys a perfect example. All right, I played basketball. Uh, so you know how you see most people shoot let me see, where's my right hand? Shoots like this, right? Pretty much fire from this position, right? Okay, I don't. Never did. I fire from like, even though it feels like I'm shooting like this, actually, I'm really shooting with more of this type Larry Birdish esque type thing where I bring it back a little further instead of this right here, right? Okay. So some people would say, "Oh, I can guard him because his release is takes longer," right? That's the There's always some way to defend something. So that's what people would try to defend against because they would think that, okay, he takes them a longer time to release, I can do defend it or whatever. Well, the one thing that happens though is because I shoot differently than most people, even though my accuracy was still great to this day, over 50%, let's just put it that way, from shooting jumpers. Now, I don't play in the paint, all right? People would be like amazed, like, how is this happening? The dude has a late release, but he's still accurate. He's still able to shoot, and they're like, that's not right. This is not right. They're like, I'm like, it's right for me, and it works. So there's no change coming. I'm not trying to change my form. It's effective. So that was the whole point. You have to trade according to what makes you effective for the win. Everybody trades. There's MDA0214 says he uses candles. DIM pals, yes, we all use a variation on the candles, but not all of us are going to be successful the same way. We all three could be successful, but we look at different things and do different markups or whatever case may be. But the point is, you have to feel comfortable for you to win. All right. So I love it. But yes, MDA0214, he uses indicators, and the roadmap is what I would suggest as well. And that's why I did say get the candlestick Bible first. That's what I'm talking about. My limited knowledge, because I go from zero. I never even looked at candles other than I would see it on a chart and I'd realize, okay, this means going up, this means going down, but I never thought I'm trading on it. So it never mattered to me. Now that it would matter to make money, now I'm looking at it like a different ball game. I'm like, hold on, I want to know what this looks like, if there's any patterns. Because in my opinion, that's a large percentage as well. You want it to be second nature. So when you see something and recognize it, you'll be able to enter faster for those few points, well, those few precious points that go down, you could be making money quicker. So that's the way I look at it. I'm looking at trying to get advantages. So I want to know the candles. So that's why, in case you just joined us, Bankus, the Bankus, just download the app. You don't have to order the card. Just download the app, please. All right. We'll get into other stuff later about it because, they always have some funky stuff that I disagree with. I don't run it, but I wish they have this thing about if other people sign up, you get like a percentage of when they load their card. I'm just like, man, get that stuff out of there. I don't care about none of that. I just want a card that's offshore. United States has nothing to do with it. I can use it anywhere in the world and I can transfer it over there and it's untraceable, untrackable, other than where it ends at, but nobody knows how it started. So I'm like, let me have that. Metal card, $85 whenever they get the one-time fee that's shipped to you inside USA, and $35 if they get, or sorry, $45 with the $10 shipping for the plastic card if they ever get the plastic. Right now, you can order the metal card. Anyhow, the reason I mention that is because when I'm doing trading, I've been using crypto. What I plan on doing is downloading it to that card instead of back to my Coinbase, for instance, or Kraken or crypto.com or any of those. All right, because they're regulated in the United States. The other Bankus is not, just so you guys get full disclosure, not regulated in the United States. I like being outside of U.S. jurisdiction in case anybody hasn't been running around noticing that United States is a rogue nation. Okay? In case you guys aren't paying attention. All right. They've been a rogue nation ever since 40 years ago, just in case you guys don't know. All right. It's been longer than that. When the FBI strategically plants drugs in neighborhoods, 1960s, 1970s. Think about it. Come on. All that EMA patterns confuse folks. Who wrote this? DIM. You're exactly right. And they come up with all these fancy indicators because they can't figure out trading. I agree with this 100% myself. I do. Um, I believe it. Because all my friends that do trading, the first thing that they started doing was, hey, you need to get this indicator, this 200-day, 200 moving average indicator. I'm like, but it's 200 candles, but then it's 200-day. I'm like 20. Then they started doing 20 candle movements, and I'm just like, okay, I can see a pattern, but I'm like, okay, so I'm trying to figure out, okay, so how are you going to, then they're like, oh, it's a 5 minute or a 15 minute or a 2 minute or a 1 minute. Everybody does different stuff, which is crazy. So again, it's not so crazy that everybody's different. What's crazy is you trying to be like everybody. You have to figure out what works for you. And that I agree with. It's like my friends have been doing this for a while. I see all these markers and stuff, and I'm just like, whoa. To me, it was mumbo jumbo. So if I'm new and I'm looking at this, it's mumbo jumbo. It's looking like I see stuff all over, lines on a screen. I see some markers. I see some other lines this way. I see something grooving on that way. And I'm just like, oh, I don't know what that means. I'm just a beginner. And then they're like, but yeah, see this? This is what we do here. I'm like, no, I don't see nothing. I just see some lines going this way. What am I don't see nothing moving. What am I supposed to? That's why I was always frustrated because I didn't know people had like 15-minute, 5 minute candles. I didn't, I never knew what was going on because I didn't see anything happening. Little did I know it takes about 4 or 5 minutes to start seeing something happening, but nonetheless, an hour, I'm just like, okay, that's interesting. But all I'm saying is there's so many different things. And some people are doing trading a different way. That's the other thing. Some people have different reasons for whatever they do. So I can't be mad. But I agree with this 100% because that's what confused me. It looks more complicated than what it is. So I was like, holy smokes, lots of love. Okay, that strategy will get you burned. Good luck. I don't know which strategy you're referring to, but hey, MDA0214, you do know if somebody's doing day trading, it does say, you can Google it, 95% of people day trading lose. So a lot of people are getting burned, is all I'm saying. And I don't know any of the options tradings and all that stuff. It just says day traders. So I don't know what that entails. It hasn't so far, my guy. So good luck staring at a screen. Yeah, 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 yeah. Okay, I trade on big time frames. No need to do that. I can check back every hour or 4 hours, whichever I decide to use. I'm trading now. I'm watching movies, not looking at the chart. Oh, MDA0214. That's exactly the point. That's what I was saying. I don't know if you came in when I said, hey, I couldn't understand why all these guys were together. They had their screens and they're hanging out, shooting pool and doing all this stuff and eating and having fun. And then I never saw the part where they actually did anything. I was like, what are these guys doing? They used to show live, but nobody's doing anything. Now I understand because you don't have to trade. You can do exactly what you're doing. You don't have to do anything. You could just enter, just watch, hey, look, glance up, see if it's where you want it to be. You already have it marked. Well, once you learn, now you have it marked up kind of like how you want it. You're looking for certain things, your most advantageous entry and exit points, and you now have learned. But a beginner, such as myself, I would not know anything. And again, I got to give credit to MDA 0214 because I had the Autobot trading and I told him we had disaster where we took L's. So then he says, well, you should learn to trade yourself. I was like, I have to because I can't rely on the Autobot to make it work. So anyhow, the cost of an education was a couple of L's. So then I said, you know what? He's right. I need to learn because I don't know how to trade. I'm just relying on some bot thing, and I don't even know what the bot's doing. I was just so once I started learning, I was like, wait a minute, this bot is when it trends towards the downward side, we win. I'm thinking, I wake up in the morning, I see gold rose, and I'm thinking, damn, why? Wait, what happened? Why don't I have over 2 G's or something in here? What's this negative? Well, it's minus 500. I'm like, hold on. But anyhow, that's the situation. So I do have to agree with, yeah, you don't need to be there in front of your computer. I've done my trading in 5 minutes. So yeah, see, that's what I'm saying. You can do it, and everybody's different. There's no rhyme or reason. Show me a six-figure day trader who don't use candlesticks, and I'll donate to. No, nobody's saying don't use candle. You have to use them. You have to use candlesticks. That's the point. I'll donate to any organization you pick. It can be done positional trading using fundamentals and not technicals. Yeah, I mean, you're going to use candlesticks. I mean, you cannot go, well, you should not go zero. You have to. Good for you. Everyone's strategy is different, but don't overthink things. Exactly, DIM Pals. I agree with this 100%. A lot of people, again, I started paying attention on YouTube, watching all these guys that tell people how to trade. And I'm sitting there like, there is so many different people doing these markups, saying this is what I use. Some person uses a triangle and says, yeah, look at these things. This is what happens. This is another person said, what does he use? He uses the 200 and what's it, a 20? And he uses when it gets when the two lines get further apart, he starts making the decision because it can now go either way. Now, another way I look at it now is he's marking up the top and the bottom. You could have done that way back here. So he's using a different thing to give you this big difference. And he says, okay, now it's going to go towards whichever side. I don't know what he's saying that much, but there's a movement in that area. And so he starts making the point that, yeah, okay, this is which way it should go. You see the trending. I'm like, okay, I can see this because it went to the bottom. It's rising to the top. I said, okay. Now I understand what he was doing, but it's a different way. Somebody's going to do like DIM Pals, do the markup on high, markup on low, get a trend. And then, like I say, I'm looking at candles too. Then I'm looking at the candles, which way I think it should go, but the candle's going to tell me which way more than likely it's going to go instead of me guessing. So we're going to enter, but who cares if I enter a little later? So what? As long as I get it right is the key. That's the profit, right? And everyone's strategy is always different when it comes to investing, just like the stock market. Nobody invests the same way. Some people, Michael Burry and a few others, are the big short. Wait till I pop up if I do Friday video, Danger Americans. Do you guys understand? Record high in shorting one of the indexes. Record all-time high. People are shorting the stock market, even though Jerome Powell, the Federal Reserve, has said we're going to do quantitative easing and they're going to do a federal rate cut. That is not anywhere near the market's going to go down. That's why I'm saying it's Yahoo, ladies and gentlemen, for the stock market. If you're not going to be in it right now, I don't know what to tell you. You need to be in. This is like a golden ticket. And if you know how to trade, oh my God, that even helps you enhance your profitability a lot more. Wouldn't it be great to win on the stock market and be able to trade and win? Not saying everything's going in one direction or another, but at least you understand why. So again, get in the game, ladies and gentlemen. That's how we do it. Okay, here we go. There's the Bankus app. Oh, by the way, I forgot. Android is so easy to download the app. If you have Apple, well, that's another story. Apple's kind of weird how you have to download, and unfortunately, I don't have that information. But 2 p.m. and 8 p.m. You know what? I'm going to put this on here. There's groups you guys can have to have a talk 2 p.m. and 8 p.m. But let me see. It's on a Zoom call, but it'll probably be Friday again, I would imagine. Um, if I can out, you can check it out. People are already using the card in the United States who have their cards. Um, I always look at it like I tell people all the time. Not that anything's illegal. It's just that I don't like the United States being able to just take people's money or block their money or stop their cards from being used or anything like that. So I'm more sensitive to being able to have your money outside of jurisdiction of a rogue nation that likes to hurt their citizens. That's the way I look at it. So anyhow, I put in the chat room. Uh, I put in the chat room uh, where we go. Market trade sideways 75% of the day. Horrible analogy. Day trading without candles is like everyone driving without street sign. Yeah, MDA. Nobody's suggesting no candles whatsoever. That wouldn't be very smart. I mean, it, although, like I said, if you're going to trade off of highs and low and set your markers at high and low for the 4 hour, 1 hour, whatever, and you just let it run a line, you would still be able to trade now that you know what it means. Anybody who doesn't understand would not know what it means just by seeing a line go up, come back down, go back up. But a candle does help, I have to admit, because you actually see movements if you have a 1 minute. And there's people doing trades on 15 seconds, which is another interesting thing. I saw people doing 15 seconds where they pocket options is what they were calling it. And there's a pocket options website. And I was like, oh, this is incredible. This trading thing is so enormous. People do different things to make money. And so a guy's like, yeah, give me my $50 here, $20 there, $75 there. Okay, I made $500 today or $300 a day. I'm good. 15 seconds, 30 seconds, 1 minute. I'm just like, this is insane. Pocket options. I was like, holy smokes. No wonder there's so many people trading. Just like I said before, there's so many people, so many different ways to make money from trading. And I never even knew about pocket options. I never heard of this. And I'm sitting there looking at, I think it was pocketoptions.com, in fact. And I'm sitting there looking at this. Friend of mine's doing this. And I'm sitting there like, are you serious right now? They go, yeah, I can change it to 15 seconds. I was like, what? I said, oh, you got to be kidding me. But it's like one bet. They said, oh, it's like you're betting. And so, in other words, whatever you put in, let's just say it's $5. I don't know a number, but $5, 15 seconds. The market goes in either whatever direction they bet, whether it was a buy or sell. Unbelievable. 15 seconds, it's over. Whatever happened in that short frame time, you get the profit or the L. And I'm sitting there like, this is crazy. How deep does this trading stuff go? Now there's pocket options out here, timed up. I'm like, holy smokes. I said, no, 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 I can't mess with that. I said it's kind of cute, but no, I'm still studying on the old fashioned way. Right? I'm studying. All right, there we go. I'm studying. All right. I do use candles only for when the pattern changes, but I never get to that point because I already made my money by then. That's cool, man. Yeah, everybody does things differently because the markups, the way you mark it up, you don't have to be doing anything all day. What you're saying is BS. Oh, MDA 0214. Come on, man. Everybody does things differently because even going by your original statement, you said when a range is broken. So you're reading the candles to know a range is broken. Not necessarily. The only reason you're reading the candles is because, like I'm talking about, I'm marking it up on the high. Then I'm marking up on the low. So my candle review is over at that point if I use that strategy. So I see my line up top, my line on the bottom. Now I'm looking for the trend, whether wherever it's sitting at. So now that's where you're basing it on. So if I see now the candles do a certain thing, because of course, again, I'm still not relying on the candles entirely. I see candles and I know which way it should go. But now because I marked up and saw the trend, I'm thinking, okay, I got some information I want to go with this way. That's how it works. At least that's what I'm thinking he means. But that means I'm not really paying attention to the candle. And that's why I said you can actually put a line, make it a line instead of candles if you're using highs and low. And if it breaks it, then you know it's probably going to go higher, whether it's higher or the lower break. So you don't need candles for that. So again, everybody trades differently, and not everybody trades based on whatever you're trading. Some people use options, and now the pocket option things is crazy. And some people do swing trading overnight the next day. So everybody's different. And there's probably other things beyond that. I don't know. Like I said, I'm just trying to learn the basics just so I can stay good, so I can win a lot. You can say patterns are overrated, but candles as a whole being overrated is crazy. No, candles aren't overrated. No, it's not. Range is broken by number or candle. Right. Exactly. 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 That's the way I look at it. I believe simpler light strategy is the better. Yep. Yogi 6218, welcome to the SSN Nation Wealthy Wednesday night live stream. I agree. Simpler is better. I don't know what simpler light or a simpler, I don't know if that's a word, if it's not light strategy is better. I agree with simpler is better. Hey, Eric, news. Uh-oh. Don't tell me some news, man. You're not going to tell me some bad. Oh, yeah, the cheese recall. I saw that, man. Some New Yorkers are getting 12,000 in crypto in a Coinbase funded basic income style pilot program. Are you kidding me right now? Socialism? Helping people? Where's this crypto coming from? From Coinbase? Yeah, that cheese recall over Listeria. I got that. I already let people know about it. Not here, though. Yeah, there's some cheese recall, ladies and gentlemen. In fact, I think I have it up. Let me see if I still have it up. Major cheese recall over Listeria. What to know? Here it is. Boar's head. Oh, it's the one we talked about on Monday. Boar's head grated pecorino. Oh, this is what we get. The pecorino romano cheese. I don't know if it's boar's head though. Oh my. Uh-oh. We got to check the fridges. Boar's head. And by the way, people got uh-oh. We might have got this. This is what we use. And people got sick. The fam. I hope not. But nobody had to go to the hospital or anything. It seemed like a cough. I don't know what it is. But people had a cough and a little fever and temperature. Wow. Wow. Pre-cut 7-ounce wedges of pecorino romano, ever roast chicken Caesar salad, and ever roast chicken Caesar wrap. All recalls, ladies and gentlemen, along with some boar's head. Oh my. That's bad. This is getting ridiculous right now. This is way too much going on. Way too much. Yes, thank you. I did have that. About that. Thank you for mentioning it. And thanks for the other news as well. This is crazy. The candles represent the numbers. If the stock price is $5 and goes to $3 to represent that, you'll get a red candle. There's no way around it. No, you get a line going down, no way around it. So if you put, whether you use candles or a line, it's still going in that direction. So candles though help because buy sells, right? Or more buyers, more sellers goes down, more buyers go up. So the color coding. So yes, you do know, but that doesn't mean that you can't. I myself, I haven't even done the experiment. I was going to do an experiment actually. I was actually not going to put candle. What's that? What was that? There's something that came up. All right, check, mic check. That was interesting. All right, but I was going to do an experiment. I was going to try and use a line and figure it out. because I like to try and go off into never lands and say, wait a minute, if I'm just going by high and low, when if it keeps going up in this direction, the only problem is I don't know the intensity, because candles give you intensity of buyer and sellers by the way the candle's moving, opens, closes. If there's going to be a sweep kind of thing on the high or sweep on the low side of the candle, those things matter. But that's information. So I mean, I can easily see somebody saying forget candles, even though I've never seen anybody say forget candles. I'm pretty sure I'm not going to find that. I don't think we're going to find a trader that does not use candles. You should be using candles to some extent. I think that's like mandatory. I don't see how there's no way you can go without using candles. That would be, to me, for my limited knowledge right now of only a month and a half, 2 months, I don't see how it's possible. I'm not that good though, but we'll see. All right, 4.6 magnitude earthquake rattles Hawaii's Big Island. Yeah, that's expected. The tectonic plates keep moving. Nothing's going to stop for anybody. I'm sure you're successful, so do what's best for you, bud, says D.I.M. Powell. That's exactly right. If you're successful, why recreate the wheel? If the wheel keeps rolling down, why is somebody coming up, oh, I got to invent a new wheel? You don't. You just take the success and roll. So, but again, because everybody's mind is wired differently, this is what I have to explain to everybody. When you do business, when you do anything, another person beside you does not think the same way as you, even though you could be looking at the exact same thing, be in the same circumstance, and they still will see things differently than you. And you go, well, the only option is this. The other person goes, what do you mean? The only option is clearly this. And you're looking at the same thing. This is humans. Everybody has experiences and their mind does not work the same. We're not a robot. Everybody's mind. That's why some people will say, wow, I could have came up with that invention. How did I not think of that? Something easy, right? It happens all the time. And that's why, in a nation of immigrants, why you would have success, because all different background, races, creed, and color think differently because they grew up different environments. So now you come together at a round table and you start talking, and all of a sudden you're like, hey, I never thought of that. And the other person's like, yeah, and if you do that, then we could do that. And then look, and now you have a 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, however many people working together and thinking of bringing the ideas together. And that's why America used to be at the top of the game, because they allowed immigrants to come to America, to study in America, bring their knowledge from studying outside of America to in America. And that way you had more people instead of a closed society. You had an inclusive where everybody's going to schools, everybody's going here, then the companies hire you. So now you have all of that. And so that's why you cannot dismiss anybody on how they do their business, their trading, or anything, because everybody's different. That's why I was using the analogy about my basketball. People said, no, because he shoots way back here, it's never going to be effective. And I'm sitting there like, I don't even listen. I say stats don't lie. I'm shooting 15, 20 footers. I have a 54, 55% shooting average. What are you talking about right now? Who cares? Luckily, my coach didn't care. He didn't come to me and go, Eric, you know what? Your form is a little off. If you want to do better, if you want to be in the pros, you should shoot like this. No, he didn't. Nah, he's like, nah, I'm good. I'm good. This dude, he's shooting like over 50% from deep. I'm not that big. I'm only like 6'2". I'm not 6'7", 6'8", where I'm shooting near the basket. Sure, I drive to the hole, drive to the rack, but nah, that's not my thing. I'm one of them like off guard type guys. I'm like, hey, give me the rock, let me dance, let me do my thing, poop, we going. So that's why you never know what's going to happen. Everybody trades differently. Everybody talks differently. Everybody has their own experiences that allows them to learn differently as well. We all can be sitting in the same class, listening to the same thing, and somebody's going to say, no, they said that. And you're like, what are you talking about? They literally said that. And each person is like hearing things differently. And that's how we learn too. You learn things differently. You look at things that are important to you. But success is based on you do what makes you successful. All right, that's the key. Texas has become the first U.S. state to purchase Bitcoin for its treasury. That's a mistake. Making a 10 million acquisition as part of a broader strategic initiative. The move comes during a market pullback that some that I don't like that at all. It's too volatile. Too volatile. I don't think that's a good idea. That is too volatile. Yes, everyone do it different ways. Martin Shkreli don't believe in it because he said he only know 4 successful traders. But he do trade positionally with fundamentals, not technicals. Yeah, I believe that. Yeah. And I would agree with him 100. My thing is there's no way to know really if somebody's successful or not, right? Unless they actually literally are honest and show you their account, right? And even then, that doesn't necessarily mean anything. Remember, let me give you guys an example since it's Wednesday night. It's still going to be story night. Remember when I was telling you guys I got offended a few years ago when this guy that's doing Airbnb, he was telling people. Again, this was a few years ago, and I can't remember what he said, but he was basic. Oh yeah, I know what it was. He was actually telling people, "Oh, I'm successful on doing Airbnb, so you guys should listen to what I'm saying." Right? And he's trying to give us, he's showing on his screen, "This is how much I made." Okay, if you do Airbnb, if you want to figure out how much revenue you made, you go to your account, your back office, you either click on your tax 1099 form, that'll show you how much revenue you made, or you click on uh, all of your reservations for the year, and it calculates, and at the bottom of that, it'll tell you how much your revenue is, right? So I got offended because this guy's sitting here talking, I made all this money. Then he shows on screen a different website. It's not even Airbnb, and says, "This is how much money I made." I was like, that is BS. You sell courses. You're telling people to buy stuff from you to get info. So that's why you're not on Airbnb. But he's sitting there saying, "Oh, this is how much." I said, BS. You're showing, I don't know what those sales represent. It might be from uh, the Robbins School of Book Sales. I mean, come on. So I got offended because I was like, because I made some comments because I thought, I was helping out the guy because he said, "Oh, I can go to uh, a condo or an apartment and I just can deal with the owner and sign an agreement with him." And I was like, no, most contracts have no subleasing in it. You can't do that. And I was like, and from what I understand, you said you're in like LA or Houston or whatever. I said they actually have a rule against it in their government that you can't do subleasing. I was like, so what are you talking about? So I got offended because you're telling people you can do this, and now you're going to have all these people. And now, mind you, he has thousands of viewers on this stuff. So you got people going to go sublease apartments, sublease condos without HOA approval, all this crap. And sure enough, it comes back to bite people because now people find out later I did what he said. Now I find out I have a lease and now I can't sublease it. And the owners or the HOA got word that people were coming into my place. So then they reported them to the HOA. I said, yeah, that's pretty much how it works. Because they see different people coming into the complex with luggage. yeah, it's kind of going to go down like that. So people bought stuff in LA, downtown LA, because of this. And that's why I got them on the radar, because they listen to this guy. They get the place in LA. And I said, I would not do that. I do not advise it under any circumstance. I don't advise subleasing of apartments or houses or nothing. Because the loan, again, there's several reasons. Loans could be called, all kind of stuff can happen. But the point is, this guy bought got three apartments in downtown LA. Listening to this guy, and I said, don't do it. Before he did it, I said, don't do it. He got 2 months in, all three. HOA comes up, hey, you can't sublease here. He's on the hook for a year at some stupid number, like $3,500 a month. 10.5 G's a month for a year. He gets 2 months worth of money, okay, but the last 10 months, he either has got, I don't know what happened, because I was trying to find out, he either defaulted or had to give it up. Either way. So again, you have to be very careful. Everybody does things differently, but misinformation can hurt more than it can help. So everybody should learn their own way, is my point. You don't just go off the rails and go, oh yeah, listening to these clowns. And by the way, I have a video on my channel that I don't make much to do about it, but if you can find my Airbnb videos, I actually show you guys my 1099 for 3 years. Okay? So, no, I didn't make $1 million a year. All right? And don't get crazy. All right? But yes, a couple $100,000 a year. Yes. So, the point is, information is only good for what you need to do. Don't listen to everybody. Verify, double check, look at other people, how they do it. Just like MDA0214 is having a conversation, and DIM Pal's having a conversation, and I'm here having a conversation. We could all three look at the same stock, and we all could have a different trading idea based on our strategy. All three can win. And there's another 5 people watching this that has a different trading strategy, and they'd say, I'm going to win, and they would probably win too. It all depends on what you're looking at in its own time frame. We're not trading at the same time. So therefore, that also means there's going to be variables. And whatever makes one successful versus another. So what's great is, if DIM Pals, myself, and MDA 0214 were in a room together, and we could be on camera and start talking about what we're looking at, that would be cool, right? Because other people would now be like, oh man, look, he's saying this would happen, this is how he trades it. Another guy's going, well, I'll see you guys in a little bit. MDA's like, I'll see you guys in a little bit. I'm gonna go watch some TV while I'm waiting for what's my thing. And DIM Pals might be trading another way. And then I'd be like, hey, I don't see nothing, and I might be just watching for a little bit, because I'm still the new student, right? I'm still the young gun in this. So that's what I'm trying to say. It's kind of very, very interesting when it comes to trading. And I could not believe how many videos there are. My friends were telling me, oh, go look at this guy. He has a YouTube video. Then it's all of a sudden 30 minutes later, oh, but you know what? This other person. I'm like, how many people are out here actually doing this trading thing? Thousands are on YouTube doing trading things. I'm just like, this is out of control. My mind's gonna blow up. I go, hold up, I can't be looking at all these people. People do too many different things. I don't want my brain inundated. You know how when people say, I want to start a new business, and then some people will say, well, and then they say, well, I never did a business before. The owner goes, well, that's good. I can train you the right way, because you don't know too much. That's always funny. Oh man, good for him. Everyone is different. Exactly. Because of the speed of day trading, candles are just a visual of what's happening in real time. Positional trading is long term, so candlesticks are pointless. A balance sheet is more important. I don't know. Guess it makes sense. Yep. Makes sense. Anything is possible. Someone could be making money without reading candles, but that person would be one out of millions. So the KSA are about 15% would be dangerous information. Uh I don't, like I said, I've been basing it on myself, the marking up 4 hour, 1 hour, looking for the trend in between. And and I put it on 5 minute instead of one or two. And I was like, I kind of feel comfortable, right? And I'm sitting there like, okay, that's been my latest thing. Cause I'm trying to get a higher percentage, right? My 5-6, even though I can win on 5-6, I want it to be 8. That's where I want it to be, right? 8 out of 10 times I'm picking the right choices. So that's why I'm trying all these, and it's like a scientific thing for me. Business is science to me. So I just sit there and just keep marking stuff, right? I'm like, okay, I kind of feel comfortable here. Let's see if it works for me. 9 times, 8 times, not nine. I'm not expecting 9 or 10 out of 10. I'm trying to get to 8. I haven't gotten there, but we'll see. But again, I don't, with the latest way of high, low, and all that, I'm thinking also, I just look at the candle trend, but we're not sitting there looking at it like the whole day or anything. I'm just like, oh, here goes something. Like I'm trying to think. It was like last week where I saw this breakout above the trend line, and then it did a color change, and then I was like, okay, this is like a classic scenario. We got a downtrend incoming. So there's all kind of different things, or an uptrend also happens. But again, everybody's different. I don't know about 15%. 15% is, I just find it very interesting that a lot of people use candles, but all I'm trying to say is this. There's a there's people that use candles, and again, 95% of people are losing. So that would indicate, whether you're using candles or not, there is losing going on. The 5% that are winning, that's who we don't know who it is, right? So we don't really know what they're actually doing. Telling people they only need candles 15% of the time, telling people to gamble. I wasn't going to comment until I heard that BS. Nobody's saying do candles 15% of the time. DIM Powell says to him, he uses it about 15% of the time. Nobody's telling people not to use candles. You got the wrong impression here. That's not happening. You should be using candles to some extent, whether you're using it 50% of the time, 10% of the time, using it for markups. I talked to another guy that's successful. You know what he told me? He says, he goes, I don't trade on Sunday when the market starts on Sunday evening. He goes, I wait until Monday. Here's what I do. And he uses gold USD. He says, on Monday, I do markups. I don't even trade. I was like, that's interesting. He goes, on Tuesday, I start trading, and Wednesday. He said Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, I believe. And I was like, that's different. I never heard that before. He goes, yeah, I just mark everything up. And then on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, that's when I do some trades. He marks up on Monday. Whatever he marks up on Monday, that's what he uses for the week or something. I was like, oh man, I got to come over and check this out. That's interesting. So, again, this thing about candles, I'm sure he uses, everybody has to use candles. I'm pretty sure of that. We just don't know the extent because, again, we still are talking about some people may be trading at a different rate, you know, like 10.1 versus 0.001. So therefore, you may not need to be in that long if all you care about is $400 or $500 or 300, or you have this movement where in less than 5 minutes it's 1,000. That's good for a lot of people. So again, we're not talking about anything crazy if you're only going to be in there a short period of time. Like I said, one time I've been somewhere when we did the Autobot, And the Autobot went up like, what did it, 300 and some odd dollars within like 5 minutes. And I was like, well, then that's the goal, was 200. So if you get 300 a day, at the time, it wasn't real trading, it was the Autobot. I said, hit it, close all that out, take the 300 plus dollars. It was 309 that day, but that was less than 5 minutes. Went to bed. I was like, there's no reason to do anything at this point. If the goal is 200 and it goes to 309 in less than 5 minutes, out. Didn't look at candles though, because the Autobot did. I didn't know what candles were. But the point is, man, everybody has their own thing. You sound like that market has been kicking your butt, man. Not at all. When I first started, of course, it's how I know how dangerous it is to put out that info. There's no info, man. I'm telling you. He just was talking about he only trades about 15% of the time. Nobody's saying do that. Everybody, listen. Everybody watching right now knows I said get the Candlestick Bible. I put the link in the chat room. That's how important it is to me. I feel it's important. People should learn to trade, understand candles. You should not be going in not understanding candles. I think that is important. So, in case you're new here, we're going back and forth about it, but it's pretty simple. I will put in the Candlestick Bible PDF once again in the chat room. Since we've been talking about these candlesticks, I think it's important that you learn, because that is the basis. That is the basis, ladies and gentlemen, in my opinion. Because again, I didn't know anything about the candles, and I didn't never wanted to over all my years. People said, you'd be good at this, man. I was like, man, I don't even know what I'm looking at. And I wish somebody would have given me the Candlestick Bible instead of going, oh, just go online and look at other people. They do live trading. Okay, I see somebody live trading and I see them doing marks. Oh, yeah, this is a 200 day, 2 hour, whatever the hell. I'm like, I don't know what that language is they're talking about. And then I don't see them do anything. So I start telling my friends who told me to do it, and they're like, oh, he must have had hotkeys. I'm like, oh my God, this is crazy right now. I said, that's not teaching me anything, because I don't know what he's looking at, what these stuff means. Where do I go learn for what he's talking about, where it means? I need the terminology. I don't understand. It was crazy. It was crazy. So anyhow, ladies and gentlemen, down below, Candlestick Bible, I put it in. And everybody, whatever you do, you have to learn on your terms. That's the key. Everybody has their own different strategy. I'm not saying candles specifically, because of course some use Helkin. Yeah. I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying, because there's all these other names, and that's what started bugging me too when I started doing this. People were like, "Oh, you should have this parabolic something." I'm like, "Oh my God, this is out of hand. This is out of hand." Fibonacci. You should have. I was like, what? All these different names on all this stuff. And I'm just like, oh my God, this is, if I have to learn all these things, my mind's going to be mumbo jumbo, and I would not have my own strategy on what I feel comfortable with. So I think I found my own strategy that I feel comfortable with. So that's the only way I'm going to do this. And that's why I've kind of slowed up, because I was like, you know what? I need to hone in and make sure that I got my numbers right. So we'll see what happens. But trading, I will be not trading probably on Friday, unless, of course, there's a reason. But on Friday, I will be buying some stocks. I won't be necessarily trading, but we'll see what the market bears. But I like that more. Yep. Why are you knocking someone else's strategy? Yeah, that's true too. Not the strategy, your strategy. Everyone see the market differently. It's a lot of things that go into play, like risk tolerance. My only problem, 15%. Yeah, like I said, MDA, it wasn't his fit. He says he uses it 15% of the time. He wasn't telling everybody to do 15%. That's what you misunderstand. We were just talking about, I was reading it, by the way, too. It was reading what he was saying. So he says it's only 15% for him, his way. But again, you got to have it. You got to know it. There's no way. And I'm referring to new people, because there's a lot of people who don't do trading. And there's a lot of people that tries to say, give me Give me your money. I'll teach you how, but it's their way. And again, just like what we're talking about here, not everybody's comfortable with DIM, may not be comfortable using his way, may not be comfortable with your way, may not be comfortable with mine. And that's all right. And the problem is there could be another 30, 40 people, just like when I play poker, right? Everybody doesn't play the same way. We could have the same hands, but we're going to play those hands differently. The same cards could come on the board. The same people could enter the hand and not fold, but we all play differently. Different strategies for different people. And you could all be successful. That's what makes it very interesting, especially when it comes to money like this. No, it is my strategy. You don't like because you said it's BS. If a person doesn't do my strategy, that's up to them. If they lose money, then eventually they will say, "Dad, that was a bad strategy." That's how it works. That's how it works. You have to constantly be you have to be real with yourself. That's what I loved about poker. There's nobody you can blame. It's one-on-one. You have to have your money management. You have to go, well, I can only lose like 10% of my stack. So this is all I can come to the cash tables with, right? So you don't go to the cash table with 50% of your stack because we're playing no limit. So if you lose a hand on a one outer, which does happen, one outers, two outers, three outers, four outers, it happens. And you could lose half of your bankroll. That's not good, right? I look at this trading thing the same way. It's money management. You should do money management as well. That should be part of the lessons of the way it goes. That's what it should be. And they will switch things up. Yeah. See, that's what I'm seeing here. Again, remember I said online, they have all these people with trading and get my course. And I'm just like, and everybody, I've seen so many different things when my friend go check out this person, go check out that person, go check out. I mean, I'm looking at 5 different people doing 5 different ways. And all are saying, this is what makes me successful. And I'm sitting there like, holy smokes. But again, you have to go with what makes you comfortable to win, and they will switch things up. Yeah, that's pretty much it. You should paper trade before you trade anyway, so test out different strategies. Exactly, DIM pals. That's why I'm saying instead of me jumping back in, even though I'm pretty good at the 5-6, I said that's not good enough for what I'm trying to do. So I said it's better for me to just chill. That's exactly my policy. I said, you know what? I need to chill on this. I don't need to. I need to get something concrete instead of dealing with, oh, I heard from this, I saw that, I can do that, I see it, I understand it. I said, but when money's on the line, do I feel comfortable for actually executing the trade? That's what I want, and that's how I am, because I played poker, like I said. Once you have a line and you go, well, I got the best hand, these other two guys or the other person that's in the hand, they can't beat me, well, then you play accordingly. You don't sit there and be like, well, I think I'm not going to win because I don't know what they have. Once you realize what they have, it's kind of like what you think they have. You have to bet accordingly to extract as much money as you can. And so trading to me is along those same lines. I need to extract as much money as I can at this trade. That's the way I look at it. It may be aggressive, it may not be, but that's the way I look at it. I'm just like, I'm trying to extract, based on the information I have right now, my best profit picture for what I think is going to go down. And yes, candles are involved. All right. And yes, the paper trading. That's why I keep saying do demo modes until you get your stuff down. Don't even do what I did by just going, okay, I'm going to do the Autobot and not understand what the Autobot was doing, because I would have cut that damn thing off. And what if I would have, in other words, I would have known where to enter, because I would have just looked at the market and been going, oh, it's kind of slightly going down. I think I should cut it on, because that's what the bot does. I didn't realize what it did because I didn't even know nothing about trading until the L's came. And I was like, hold on, I can't be doing this. I can't be doing this. I don't know enough about your strategy to say that. I never back tested your strategy. My only reason for responding was a 15% comment. Okay, that's cool. I even heard the comment about trading on news. In some cases, that's very risky. Yeah, the news came out at 9:05. The stock market starts moving, but again, the only reason you're going to know it's moving is because you saw the candles, right? You see what's happening. You got the trend. You're like, oh yeah, that's what happened 10 minutes ago or 5 minutes ago. Yes, the market moves a lot, but any real trader know on news you'll get huge wicks. Yeah, exactly. You're right. You'll get the sweeps. Okay, so trade your big wicks. Oh, I like that. That's funny. All right, I heard it wrong. I thought he was saying candles are only needed 15% of the time. No, that's what I'm trying to say. No, that wasn't it. Not at all. Yeah, so that's why I thought you were not understanding. It wasn't saying do 15% of the time. That's it. Exactly. No, no, no. Can't do that. You just never know, right? Quite frankly. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank everybody for being here. I greatly appreciate this conversation. It was a sterling convo. Come back on Friday night. We're going to talk about some more because I expect the market to be a shining star on the hill. There's no way around it. The setup is clear. Federal rate cut, check. Quantitative easing. Money's flowing from the feds, check. The top tier companies on the stock indexes are buying their shares of stock, check. Now they get to refi because rates will go lower. Any of their debt, any other deals they want to do at a lower rate, check. Volatility on the upside, I predict. Now, are you going to be in the stock market to make money a couple of different ways? Is the question. You're going to be in there trading? You're going to be in there doing what? Buying an ETF, a VOO, a VOG, or what are you going to be doing? You're going to be in there buying a stock such as Nvidia or AMD or another tech stock, Apple, I don't know. What are you going to be doing? Tell me on Friday, ladies and gentlemen, because it'll be Friday night live stream. So let me know then. And you know what's funny? Now that I mentioned it's Friday night, I had started at 6:10 p.m., which is the Friday night time on Wednesday night. That's funny as heck, right? I thought it was Friday night again. My mind is telling me a different day. I wasn't even thinking. I just started at 9:10 p.m. ish, and I was thinking it was Friday. Luckily, I didn't say financial Friday night, Friday, right? But I'll see you guys on Friday night. Have a happy Thanksgiving with your loved ones and family. Make sure you eat well, but don't overindulge. Just bring some extras home for tomorrow or Friday. All right. Let's see. We're going to get some Thanksgiving Thursday night football, right? We're going to get that Thanksgiving dinner. So make sure you guys get all that going on as well. Have some fun. Be safe out here because there's a lot of people under stress and duress. And you never know what's going to happen. But make sure you're safe. I love you guys very much. And please like, subscribe, and click the bell below so you get the latest updates. And I know it's hard out here, ladies and gentlemen. Boy, do I know. It's getting harder and harder. I went to the grocery store just this week. I spent like $200. I'm sitting there looking in the cupboards and I'm just like, how is this $200? Are we serious right now? This is nothing. It's barely anything. I mean, I didn't even get a turkey or anything that was $50 or $40 or even $30, but it was things like $15 because it's a cake, which is $18. Then it was like some fruit, some vegetables. I mean, like, like this. I'm like some bananas, some ginger, some avocados. I mean, like, this is crazy. This is crazy. Got some sodas that have zero sugar. They had buy two, get three, but those are like $11 each. So got 5 packs for like $22. But again, how is it $200? It was insane. Oh, hold on. I got a bottle of alcohol, $13 or something. But I'm still like, there's hardly anything in the fridge, anything in the cupboards. And I'm like, this is insane what's happening right now. Got me my turkey pack. Didn't even get any salmon, by the way, come to think of it. It would have been more than 250. I mean, this is insane. But anyhow, be safe out here, ladies and gentlemen. All right. Um, because you're going to have to do money management. Inflation is going to kick in because of what they're about to do. People don't understand what inflation means. What it's like prices are going to rise or you have shrinkflation. So last year Walmart had a package that was, I believe, 22 items or 25. This year they say, well, it cost a little less for the Thanksgiving meal, but they give you 15 or 16 items. Of course, it should cost less. And last year they used brand name items. This year they use more generic items. So it's shrinkflation different ways. So that's why that is going to occur. Just like right now, when you go to the store and have box stuff and you notice the boxes are shrinking, but the price is same or going a little higher, right? Shrinkflation is in effect, just like a third world country. A lot of people don't understand what I mean by a third world country. You know, the thing that I used to hate when I go to the Philippines or when I go to a third world country, and you go in the store and you see these little boxes or little bags. They're smaller, and then you go and you're like, oh yeah, but it's a third or half of the price. It's cheaper. It ain't cheaper. It's because the damn thing is smaller. All they did was shrink it down and then charge you a third of what you normally would pay or half of what you normally would pay. And then some people are like, oh, it's cheaper. I'm like, it's not cheaper, it's smaller. It's like a little baby. So that is what we're dealing with in America when you have a crumbling empire. So again, Yahoo, the stock market is booming. You better get in on this because once again, 1 year, 6 months from now, you're going to need that 775 credit score. I got links down below to improve your credit score. I got links down below to get your debt resolution done. So that way you're going to have your credit because a year from now, liquidity is going to be a problem. Credit's going to be interesting. I believe they're going to be giving out the 36 months at 0% interest because they're already giving 24 months at 0% interest. That's what you want. You want that, the 3 years, 0% interest, except for your annual credit card fee. That's what you want, ladies and gentlemen. That's going to go a long way. All right. Just keep that in mind. So those are the goals that you're going to need to make, and I'm going to help you get there. So let's go. All right. Do something for yourself that makes you money independent of your job. One way is trading. The Bankus app down below. Oh, by the way, did I put this in? They have a crypto Visa debit card. Hold on. Did I put this in here? I forgot something. Did I put the Zoom call times in? Uh-oh. I know I must have. Let me go double check. You guys, make sure. Yeah, I did. I'm going to put it in again before I go because I need you guys to understand what America is. Just like I said 5-6 years ago that you should have something offshore. I'm hoping people understand you need bank accounts, you need real estate, or you need business offshore outside of America's jurisdiction. So here you have another chance for a crypto card outside of America's jurisdiction. Get yours now. And there's the order. And if you're interested, it is a business opportunity thingy too, but I don't care about none of that. Really, what I care about is you guys not getting your money attacked, stolen by a federal government that has ran out of money and they're about to print some more. There is going to be a tipping point. I don't know if it's going to be 5 years from now, 10 years from now, but I was hoping when I was going to be dead. So we're talking about, I'm hoping 25 years from now or 30. But the point is, There is a tipping point, and we don't know what it is because we're in uncharted territories. And I'm going to show you on Friday what those uncharted territories are. So don't miss the 9-10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time live stream, and don't miss the actual video that I'm about to drop. And I'm going to drop another Miracle Bellator BS scammers video, courtesy of No Pants Prophet. He's the one doing it, driving in this car, talking with Grok about the scam situation. So therefore, keep that in mind as well. And once again, that's it. Have a good night's sleep. Get plenty of rest. Make sure you take care of your health. You live in a country that is not even trying to make sure their citizens are going to have health care. You have people trying to cut it and give rich people more money or create an ICE police force in the trade-off. So make sure you take good care of yourself, ladies and gentlemen, if you can. Start studying about what's bad for you, such as sugar, for instance, bad for you. All right. Alcohol also bad for you. Long-term effects messes up your brains and other factors, organs, and things like that. And worse, cancer or something. So just make sure you guys start paying attention to eat healthy if possible. Make sure you can make money on your own if possible without your job. Just keep going down that line. All right. I love you guys. Make sure, no matter what you do out here, make sure that you always keep your head up, ladies and gentlemen. You keep moving. And I'm out.